Yo, what's good? It's Lotus. I'm gonna show you how to make a Nemzzz Type Beat, that like Segway, Nathan kind of vibe, the chill drill kind of super easy. I'm gonna show you just the rhythms and stuff that I use along with some of the samples that I like to stick with. And yeah, I'll get right into it. I'm gonna start by grabbing a couple of snares. I like that one. It's got a good punch to it. That could be something. Like that. Alright, so I'm gonna show you the bass rhythm that we're gonna do with these snares. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do at the end of every bar with these ones or if I'm gonna break it up with the different samples, but we'll just try it out first. Yeah, I think that's gonna be too much, so we'll do every other. And then we'll bring in maybe this snare for right here. I kind of want this at 146 BPM. And then we can do, before we can do that, so it's kind of, I like this on the second one to kind of switch it up a little bit so it's not so repetitive. But I think maybe I would prefer if those were snaps. Yeah, and then from there I'm gonna grab a rim, probably, just to add a little bit more rhythm. I think this one sounds pretty good. Then with this, you kind of just want to pop it in there like that. Have a consistent rhythm going with it. Then you can throw a little change up in on the last little bit, and I would actually do the same thing right here as well. Don't really like that rim, so I'm gonna try and find a different one. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but it's one of those things where when you hear it, you'll find it, or when you hear it, you'll know, rather. Or maybe a hat. Try a counter snare. Yeah, it's pretty good. And I think this needs a stomp. If you've listened to Nemzzz or like any sort of Segway beats, you know you gotta have a stomp in there. And I think we can bring this other snare that we picked out earlier in to find like the kick. I'll probably wait for like an actual kick because I want to find one that fits with whatever melody we end up going with at some point. But right now I think that's a pretty good bass. The stomp is a little, maybe a little much. Yeah, I think that is better, because that leaves room for us to do some fun things on the 2nd and 4th bars. Which, let me see if I can find any of those fun things. I want a triangle. See how this one goes. Probably only put it on this one. Maybe do like a little delay on it. Alright, so I think I want to find a sample, or maybe a couple splice samples to layer on here, so I'm gonna look for some of those really quick. We'll just see what we can find. When it comes to melodies for this, I'm really looking for something that's... Okay. Yeah. That I guess, I don't know, like funky. That I didn't expect that to just come out of nowhere. So I'm gonna pull that out. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the bass out of this a little bit because I want to get a little crazy with my own 808s and like log drums, which I'll show you those when we get there. I might also maybe go... maybe distort it a bit. So now the kick is going to be a lot easier to pick out. I love the Pierre kick, it goes so hard. It's got just the perfect amount of bounce to it. Alright, so we're just gonna do the kick really quick. Get me in here. Yeah. Keep it predictable. Because you can make it sound interesting without changing the rhythm a whole bunch, and that lets artists hop on it, which is always a plus. The more you can get an artist to see themselves on your beat or see the room that they're supposed to take up, the easier it is for you to get that beat to them. Let's grab another. Layering is very important in these types of beats, just building out the whole soundscape. So I'm gonna find a couple spots to layer in this rim. Alright, so that seems pretty solid to me. We're gonna take some 808s, which actually I want to be here, I think. Or is it down here? No. Hold on, I got this very specific one that yes. The bounce J goes so hard. Then we're looking at D minor on that. So if you go up to this little drop down here, you go to view, scale highlighting, you just click on D. Now all these highlighted notes are going to be in scale. It's super useful if you don't really know the exact scale that you're working on. Yeah. So I'm gonna not rotate. I'm gonna move this stomp over a little bit, and I'm gonna see where my kick is. I think it's right here. I'm gonna also move this one over a little bit. See how that sounds? I also don't necessarily love where that 808 is sitting. Yeah, I think that's way better. We're gonna bring these ones back. Then I like grabbing a hi-hat. And using it to add just a bonus little switch up later on where it doesn't go too crazy, but it's a little ear candy. I think I want to scale them up. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Get rid of these, honestly. But this little hiccup right here is fantastic for the rhythm. Alright, and then I think I'm going to pull away some of these because I forgot to leave room for my log drum, which is what you want to do. Which I think this one can honestly just get cut here. So there's this option in FL. If you go to the 808, it's called cut itself. And what it does is it means when this note runs into this note, this will stop. So if you put another one here that's set to 0, when this one runs into it, it's just gonna silence, and it kind of becomes, it's better shown. But that's just gonna leave a lot of room, because then I can put a log drum like here, because those are like a plucky bass, kind of, and it just lets me throw it right in. But I do want to find, I think these can drop a bit. Yeah, I think that's perfect. But if we take a log drum, I think this fits pretty well. You want to turn off loop points, cut itself, so it's same principles as the other one. We're gonna go here. We're gonna see, we're just gonna play around with it because I think here and here is gonna sound good. It's close. I think this one has to cut there. Bring these up to D maybe. Alright, and then I want to be able to break, like this will be a great melody for probably the chorus, but I want to find something to break it up. I honestly might just cut this other melody right here and throw this in. That sounds really good. Pop this up to 152 to time sync it. And if you go to resample, go to stretch, then this is going to make it so when you change your tempo, this stays locked in place, so you can adjust your times a little bit more. I think I'm already in D minor, so I might change the pitch depending on how it sounds. Yeah, I think let's see what happens when I raise it up an octave, so 12 is one for each semitone. There's 12 semitones in a scale. And then if you go to 1200 cents, that's gonna raise it a full octave. We're gonna get rid of this other one, I think. We might bring it back later, but I doubt it. This one's just the perfect vibe. And we're gonna route all these drums. I'm just gonna click on track over and over again, and then I will be back when they're routed, because this is no fun. And track, perfect. All right, so I've got the FX bus and the drum bus set up. This routes into there, and the way I run it is I put like my hi-hats, my snares, stuff like that on my FX bus, and then my 808s and my kicks go straight to the drums. I'll show you why in a second. It's not anything crazy. It's just how I found that I like to do my work. Okay, so that is going straight to drums. That's going straight to drums. 808 straight to drums, and log drums straight to drums. Perfect. And that's routed to here. And then what I like to do is take a little reverb, and this can go on my like hi-hats and my snares. I pull the dry all the way down, push the wet up, and then I use this knob to control how much reverb is going in. So like this would be drastic, but you can scale it back. Just listen to where it sounds good. And then I'm gonna run that into knock, which is like a multi-stage drum compressor, for lack of a better term. That was probably a better term. I'm gonna push this button, which just makes your saturation harder. I'm gonna pump it a little bit. Now that it's being amplified so much, we can pull this reverb down even more. So we're gonna go over to the master. We're just gonna throw a quick soft clipper on there. Yeah, that's perfect. That's just gonna stop you from clipping. There we go. So this is where you kind of take the drums apart. It's where I like to take the drums apart and figure out what's gonna go where for what. So this is kind of like your bass rhythm. You don't really need the hi-hats aren't necessarily like, let me show you. And then if you throw the stomp in there. I'm also really quick just gonna hit a mix on this. So I'm just gonna have everything played together and then kind of readjust down here. I want the hi-hats to get, like the counter snare and the hi-hats to get further into the back. I'm gonna push this hi-hat a little to the right, or slightly to the right. The snares or snap is too loud. So now it's a little mixed. We can go back to building this intro, or this is probably not going to be the intro. The way I like to build it is just do like a section, figure out what it would sound good for, and then move on to the next section. I might get rid of that. It's kind of your bass rhythm right there. Then we can figure out what I want to add. Triangle's not bad. The log drum could also be pretty good. Maybe we throw the 808 in there and this will be the verse. I think this could change. It's a little too predictable for a Nemzzz beat. The rhythm's gotta be a little funky. It's a little bit better. Then we'll do that there. We'll add everything else on top of it. Just bring it back and we'll see how this goes. So I want this hi-hat to come in here, that to go away. No. Something about that hat isn't doing it for me, so I'm probably gonna redo. Maybe it should be more of like a rim, honestly. See how this sounds? Track it, throw it on FX, cut itself, and loop points are off. That's cool. Oh, we should make a playlist for it. Just gonna let it run throughout the whole thing so I can see how it sounds with everything. I think that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna have this running here, maybe bring it back once there, but just let that be. I think I am gonna bring this stomp back to every bar though. I think we're gonna remove this one. I think I want to pull some more away from this even. Maybe get rid of this there. We'll drop the melody for these three and we'll just bring it back to the original octave. Oh, so if you want to do two separate melodies, like the same melody doing two separate things, then you just hit you go in this option, make unique, and then you can do whatever you want. And here it's going to be different. So if I turn this one up, this one's not going to be turned up, stuff like that. I'm going to try that. Honestly, hate to do this again, but I think we're getting rid of this melody as well. We're gonna find the one that we like. That's okay. I might track a couple together, start building one really quick. We shall see. See if I can find a good, like, not necessarily a pad, but like a synthy piano almost. Let's go with pads, but let's see if they have a piano option. We'll stack these in here probably for like a little transition. I'm gonna keep working in D, so if this is D sharp, then we're gonna move that to D. Just to keep it simple, honestly. Make this a bar, stretch, then figure out where to place it. That's kind of good. Nope, we just want these. We want to go back. Just take these. There we go. This could be something. We're just gonna have to play around with it a little bit. Stretch. We're gonna go, that would be, so each 100 cents is a semitone up. This is starting in G sharp, so now we're at A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. We're gonna take an EQ and probably squish this because I think it'll sound better without that high end. Then reverb it a little bit after it's been squished to bring some of those other like frequencies back, but we're gonna bring them back way quieter and as a reverb. So probably see how I like this preset that I usually. That wobbly synth that we have, I want to turn wider all the way up. This essentially just gives it more like stereo width. We're going to turn that all the way up, but we're going to adjust this. So if we have it off, turn it up, then just turn this down. All right. With everything else. We're gonna fade these in a little bit so it's not such a hard cut. And now we need probably like consistent chords or something to go underneath it. So look for chords and go R&B. This is in A sharp, so we're gonna do all the same steps, move it over to stretch. This time I'm gonna stretch it down. We'll put it up first, see how it goes. We'll track it, set it over to melody. And then we're at A sharp, so it's gonna be B, C, C sharp, D. I think we could maybe do something like this, where we bring this in here, bring it out for a bar. Bring one of these every now and then, maybe. Alright, effects. I usually just go to splice, browse through until I find, like, you just need a couple risers, sweeps, some stuff like that. A little bit of character to it. I really like doing these camera shutters. Kind of like paparazzi a little bit, if you will. I like this one. So something that I like to do specifically with this style of beat is, let me just put this down here, move all of this. We'll do a little 2-bar intro. Probably put a bunch of these on this one. Could probably just boop boop. There's a method, I swear. Then just, but paparazzi really doesn't stop, you know, it's just constant. This one would be a little in, this one would be a little out, there might even be another one that's quieter and further away. And then you would just take like a little, maybe beforehand, a little focus. Then we'll do a flash for the last. And you can really take the end of something. The way this melody is built makes it interesting, but not hard to do. Just bring it down here where I've got a little more room to work on it. Get rid of this. I was also thinking you can take your kick, just drag it out here. We're gonna reverse it. Then you can send this right before your kick. I'm thinking right here. Do it like there. Cut all of this. Yeah. Track all these to my secondary effects bus, which is where I just put all the effects I use in the beat arrangement, essentially. I know other people like to hit Control L to track their stuff, but if you just hit track up there, it also does it. Then you don't have to press as much on the keyboard, I guess. It's up to you, what you find easiest. For me, I just like hitting the track. I'm gonna do a little transition effect right here because I think it'll sound good. The way I like to do these is highlighting. Everything is routed over to my premix, everything that you see here. So I like using this as my premix. I don't know, where I can put effects on it and stuff. So I'm gonna go over to this bank that I found for gross beat. Maybe we'll try Just mess around with some of these change ups. That might be decent. Then what we're gonna do is turn it off, set the song position to 0, and then we're going to create an automation clip. I want to extend this here so it can go from none to some, if that makes sense, and then it goes back to 0 there. So I do like that. I think maybe if I combine that with reverb, go drum room, super wet, no dry, which the dry knob is your pre-effects and then your wet is your effects. So it's like combining the two. So essentially it's 0 of the old sound and just the reverb coming through. We're going to do the same thing where we lock that position there. We're going to create an automation clip, except this time I didn't have that highlighted, so it's going to create it super long and unnecessary, but it's fine. We're going to go here, do the exact same thing we did with the other one. Really end it there, and then just delete this, so I don't need it. Maybe we'll even bring this up. So this is what I came up with. It's just like a little reverse, but with a bend. It looks like this. Then we can just have it repeat right here. We'll do a little 4-bar or something. Thanks for checking out the video. With that, I'm just gonna let it play out. If you like it, drop a like, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, the whole ordeal. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one.
Lotus Production.